Right, let's see if we can type. No, I told you I lost my gold-plated reading glasses, and it's a bit of a problem now because I have to go to a special jewellery shop in Hyde Park to get them done again. But we'll soldier on. It's the British way. We don't complain, mate. We don't complain. And nor should you unless you have good reason to. So, I think I know what I am going to actually play. But let's load up the ZX butt fucks list. I've spelt that in a comical way, so hopefully we won't get age restricted or anything. But go. Yeah, I'm just looking at the list here. Now, what you've got to remember is, whilst many companies did cartridges for the Commodore 64, Commodore was selling their cartridges at half the price. Now, obviously half the price of Atari VCS cartridges, but also Atari Soft cartridges, which were also £30 for like rival machines and their own home computers, obviously. And yeah, maybe we'll do like a movie special. Right, so I know Forbidden Forest is on the end. Well, there's quite a few ways we could go, actually. Nah, you know what? Back in them days, if you're a real man, you'd be in the arcades, mate. You wouldn't be sitting at home on the toilet reading Acorn User or whatever to find out what the next big thing in gaming is, and then try and find that for your system at home. So first thing we're going to do is Anirog Scramble. Nah, that's not actually the name of the game, obviously. I just have to specify it's Anirog's version of Scramble. Now, they did a very good version for the VIC-20, but on the C64, you'd come home from the arcade, sit in your huge living room with your massive 28-inch CRT Sony or whatever. You get the C64 out and you'd load up Scramble. And let's get this going first. And you'd be like, well, it is a bit of a faff getting down to that arcade, and I have got a decent joystick, and that was literally it, really. And of course we got to do alphabetical sort, but anyway, don't get your knickers in a twist, madam. Yeah, I'm just thinking, but now we go with this one. So yeah, famously this game does not use the hardware pixel offset register for the screen. You get two registers, actually, two for the price of one. But we'll let this load up and I'll make a roll up. And I should probably turn my 150-inch TV off. Control your jealousy. start the games, one of these. No. Let's just say no to everything. One. Now, you do know that it was me that told the first arcade cabinet producers that they should put the joystick on the left. I said to them, 75% of the world is right-handed, so if you put the joystick on the left and the action buttons on the right, they're going to be a bit fucked and you can make more money. And they was like, Bob, you're a genius. Through the translator, because obviously I don't speak Japanese. I told you that already though. Pay attention. And so really, if you want to play this game as you would have played it in the arcade, you have to actually play it with your left hand. Now, there's probably going to be some smutty jokes going on in the back there about, you know, oh, I use my left hand all the time, just to, like, you know, give you a slightly different experience. We're not going to go there. It's not that kind of channel, mate. What you do with the ugly women in your own time, that's up to you, mate. But yeah, there's one thing in the computer market that's really important, and that is that there are certain types of games, whether they're officially licensed versions of arcade games that everyone was playing in the arcade for your home computer, that don't look shit, don't sound shit, don't play shit, and obviously your computer needs a joystick port for that as well. You know, plus, you know, it's a false economy. You buy a Spectrum, right? There's no joystick port on it. You're playing, I don't know, Daley Thompson's Decathlon or Decathlon. I met Daley Thompson because Bob Monkhouse used to pester me a lot. Another one who was trying to hang on my coattails to try and get cooler with a younger crowd. But Bob Monkhouse is actually funny. He once said to me, if my auntie had nuts, she'd be my uncle. You know, think about that. That's quite a philosophical... Right, anyway, let's not get into that. I'll save that for another day. Maybe with, you know, Whizball. Try and weasel that in there. Balls. You know what I'm talking about, mate. That's what nuts are for you Americans out there. But, yeah, you know, at the end of the day, there are certain things you need. And Scramble was one of those games that's like... You know, you'd have loads of fun playing it in the arcade, and then when you get home, it's like, what are you going to do? So, you know, and that was really important. But as I was saying, if you buy something like Decathlon, Activision's Decathlon, or Daley Thompson's Decathlon, because you played track and field in the arcade, yeah, come home and, you know, a lot of Commodore 64 owners complained that they had to buy a new joystick. Well, a new joystick is a hell of a lot cheaper than sending your shitty Spectrum off to be repaired because you fucked up the dead flesh keyboard there on there. Necrophiliac's first choice was a Spectrum. Morgue employees, they would enjoy the Spectrum more than normal people. So yeah, false economy. Plus the fact that, yeah, the whole myth, spelt with an F, about, you know, tape being unreliable. Well, you just had a shit tape deck. You probably bought some fucking Boots the Chemist tape deck, and that's going to be about as good as it can possibly be with the word The Chemist on the box. What business has a chemist got making a fucking tape deck? So, yeah, you know, the Commodore tape decks, before they got cost reduced by the Irving Gould Brigade. Now, I didn't talk to Irving Gould, he was a bit of a cunt, actually. Didn't like him at all. He had a face a bit too much like a nonosh, as they're called in some countries I've been spying in. I heard people call him a nonosh. But anyway, the Jack Trammell era tape decks, before Irving Gould was trying to squeeze out a few more millions out of Commodore over the decades before he fucked them and put them into bankruptcy. They all worked, unless there was an actual problem at the company that was mastering the tapes and they fucked that up. They all worked. But yeah, like I said, was my idea to put the joystick on the left on the arcade machines, and they did make a hell of a lot of money. And you know, didn't give me any money. I was having a beer with the designer of Pac-Man, and we were both saying it's a bit out of order, really. You know, Japanese companies, they may be honourable, but they're just as fucking capitalist driven. Greed, profit. So perhaps there's honour in greed. Maybe they should have that on their fucking flag. Nintendo is the greediest company I ever come across. I do believe some of their highly dubious tactics were taken from the business tactics. Were taken from the diaries of Stalin, I believe. It's an interesting situation. Yeah, because obviously Stalin predicted that computers would be a big thing, and he just didn't live long enough to see the time of the you know, technological Orwellian state emerging. But I would have loved it, absolutely loved it. So, joystick port 2. Well, it said press fire, didn't it? Here we go. So you're in your expensive Mayfair townhouse in central London, and you don't need to go to the arcade. Now, for all you moany old gits out there saying, oh, scrolling's a bit choppy, well, it's a lot better than scrolling on the Spectrum clones. It looks a lot less shit than the Spectrum Scramble clones, so it's pretty damn spot on. Plus, let's not forget that about 6 months after this came out, you had the Rabbit software version, which did have smooth scrolling, so, you know, no, as you say to the Spectrum owners. Yeah, you got to come down to their lower IQ level, really, when you're arguing with the old Spectrum fanboys. You know, it's a bit like when you're talking to people today that keep going on and on about the C64 full size. That's a fucking waste of money. And the Mega 65 thing, another emulated piece of shit with no fucking RGB SCART or S-video output. That's fucking gold-plated turd, that one. So yeah, really, you know, after the, you know, trailblazing years of the VCS, from like, you know, 1979 to like 1982. And Vanguard was a fine game for the Atari, but by the time it came out, really, Atari was for poor people, the Atari 2600. And that's how you should pronounce it in Queen's English. Atari 2600 is what working class people say. Anyway, and children just called it the video computer system. And Grandstand tried to copy that, and they called their Fairchild Channel F PAL-based release. They called it the Video Computer Entertainment, I believe it said on the box. Now, I told the managing director of Grandstand that sounded shit and you're not going to make any money out of that. But he didn't listen to me, and they promptly failed. Yay! There we go, there we go. We're in the communist underground bunker now. We're sorting out the communists. Obviously, I've borrowed the SR-71 Blackbird for this mission. It's not really suited for these sort of tasks, but you know, I'm such a genius pilot. I mean, they based the entire movie Top Gun off me, basically. I've never seen flying that good. Seat of the pants. Yeah, well, there you go. I didn't get a penny in royalties for that one. So this is me playing the game as a right-handed person with my right hand, by the way. So once I've lost all my lives, we're going to try it with the left hand. No jokes about the left hand, because we've done that to death. So even though it's a char scroll, character-based scroll, 8x8 pixels, it is done properly. Now you've got to take out the base at the very end there, and I do believe it's after the Anirog sign here. There you go, so we done that. Don't know how many lives I've got left, but you know. So yeah, obviously it's more of the same. So this is really ColecoVision quality scrolling, and seeing as the ColecoVision was apparently the Rolls Royce of video game consoles, I don't personally believe that. But you know, so it's good enough for this game, and you know, to have this game without having to go down to you know, the arcade, because every time I used to have to go down the arcade, I mean, Jesus Christ, there was always some like female celebrity who would just hassle me. You know, they'd see me. They're sitting in the wine bar there in, you know, London, like Bo Derek, and they're like, Bob, come on, I need it, Bob, I need it. And I'm like, nah, I don't fancy it with you today, Bo Derek. I'm going down the arcade. Yeah, give us a tinkle tomorrow on the old hard line there. I'll sort you out, but nah, too tired for you today, love. And, you know, I start crying and everything, but what are you going to do, mate? Nah, I only got to get 8,000 more points to actually get another life. I'm pretty sure that's the case here. So, you know, but like I say, if you want a true arcade experience, really you have to play this game with, you know, the joystick being controlled with your left hand. So it's going to be interesting what happens now. Now, the fuel consumption on this spaceship is atrocious. It's as pathetic as that horrible space shuttle thing. Now, of course, you know, Project Orion was much more sophisticated, but hey, I didn't really get involved in the space race. I was too busy. I didn't want to become world famous or anything, because you can't be a spy and world famous. Bit difficult. So let's try that again. Yeah, if Annie Rog had asked me, I'd tell them, you don't do this. You know, you let people press the fire button straight away. They don't really care about it. Right, so this is now a completely different experience. Yeah, it's almost like it's the first time I've ever played Scramble, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? And yeah, you know. So they made a fortune, and well, you know. Luckily, I was getting loads of money working for MI6 anyway, so yeah. Plus, you get more birds at parties if you say, you know, I'm a spy from MI6. But if they've got a bit of a slightly Eastern European, Eastern Bloc accent, you probably shouldn't tell a bird that at a party, just in case, you know. Unless they're a famous actress with that accent. I mean, the movie Condor Man is based on a mission I had in Yugoslavia, actually. But there were no decent restaurants in Yugoslavia, so they changed some of the scenes to Istanbul. Istanbul was a rocking place back then. And then things got a bit too political and racist, and yeah, well, you know. In fact, we used to discuss this in the, you know, the coffee shop at MI6, and I don't know how I got away with that one, mate. I really don't. I really don't. Surface for air. That's really pushing it, but. Fuel consumption is terrible in this thing. It is as bad as a Rolls Royce, and we got Rolls Royce a consoles type of scrolling. Nah, see. The other thing is your left hand actually gets tired quicker if you're right-handed. So, you know, it actually maximises their profits. Arcade games are basically designed to just take your money. They're not designed to be the most amazing game designs ever. Their game design focuses on, you know, getting the money out of your pocket. And yeah, I think we've scientifically proven there, with my IQ of 187, that yeah, it was a brilliant idea for me to tell all the arcade manufacturers to stick the joystick on the left-hand side of the control panel. Now the battery warning light has just come on, so I guess maybe we get just one more game in. Actually, maybe I can remember the exact spelling for the name. Of course, I got night blindness from the phosphor bombs that were being illegally used in a certain country I can't mention under the Official Secrets Act. When we were attacked, that's how I got my night blindness. It's got nothing to do with the fact that I have bacon and eggs every day. Every day, bacon and eggs. Except when I don't, which is pretty much all the time. So I don't really have bacon and eggs every day, but still doesn't really matter. Right, well, here we go. Actually, can't do that from here. We have to load in the main program. And see, the trouble is I have to be at an oblique angle to the screen. That means extreme angle. I don't. So, yeah, Hustler. It's a snooker game. That isn't snooker, it's pool. But, you know, it's close enough. You're not really going to complain. So it's a very early game. And yeah, it was a great game. Me and Lee Remick used to stay up all night and have sex, and then after that we'd have a quick go of Hustler, which was ironic because Hustler is actually a dirty magazine. Again, gonna have to do an alphabetical sort, I think. Yeah, Hustler's a really good game. You know, in your living room, you don't have to go to the pool hall or the snooker club. Very snooty down at those snooker clubs. Although I am a man of exceptional breeding, obviously. If I was born earlier, James Bond would have been based on me, but they had to settle for that Ian Fleming pompous git. But anyway, I don't give a shit how you make my martinis, mate. Just use decent fucking drink when you're doing it. So yeah, me and Lee Remick, sweaty and naked on the couch, having some, I don't know, single malt whiskey probably. She was a bit of an expensive fuck, that one, I'll tell you, mate. But yeah, anyway, we'd play this, and of course I didn't write this game, because if I had, I would have put a little notch there so you know where the maximum speed is. That was the real problem with this game. Perhaps they copied it off an arcade machine that did that to get more money out of you. Yeah, see? It's immediate response. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, would you rather be in a pool hall surrounded by loads of sweaty blokes? Oof, those lamps above those tables, how well hot they were. Or sitting on a sofa with Lee Remick post-coital, enjoying basically the same game. I don't know what your answer is going to be, but me personally, I potted the white. I sure did, mate. You only get one life, and apart from making shitloads of money, the other thing you're supposed to be doing while you're on this planet in existence is having loads of sex with women who ain't butters. Now, I'm just showing you my trick shots here. I'm not actually missing any of these. I'm just showing you that everything rebounds really nicely, even off the side cushion. There you go, see, I told you. If I want to pot them, I'll pot them. Plus, I'm not wearing the right trousers. See, it's kind of putting me off. You have to wear those funny suit trousers with the satin stripes on them, basically. There we go. There may be keyboard controls on this game, but if you're going to buy a Commodore 64, I think you can afford a bloody joystick, can't you? Yeah, just a little bit off with the, you know, the actual speed I need. So, yeah, this was another one. I mean, I'm going to say that probably, thank you. Probably on the spectrum, games like this are just going to be lurching about and they're not going to be this accurate and blah, 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 and stop crying. And don't send me a bill for the tissues, because I don't know what you're using the tissues for either, mate. So, yeah. We had a little go of pool there. And, yeah, you know, happy memories, happy memories. Lee Remick, she was a real sweetheart, bless her. Lovely woman, a little bit older than me, but lovely. Yeah, you know, it's a shame what happened to her, bless her, but yeah, I'll see you next time.